This is new video into us overnight from the north coast of France, and what you're seeing there are search crews looking for the missing after what is being called the deadliest migrant tragedy on record in the English Channel. At least 27 people died as they attempted to cross the channel yesterday. Their dinghy capsized. There's been a record number of people this year making that dangerous crossing from France to the UK. French and British authorities are holding crisis talks today, both governments, to try to figure out how to stem the flow of migrants and prevent the loss of more lives. And we're hearing both from the leaders of France and from the UK today as well. Let's go to Tessa Arcilia, who has the very latest in London. Tessa?
Well, Heather, that is indeed what's happening today in terms of holding crisis talks. They're pretty much scrambling to find a solution to this. In recent months, the two sides have been trading barbs, if you will, on how to deal with this crisis, pointing fingers at each other. And now we've seen, as you mentioned, this is the biggest tragedy in the Channel. The International Organization for Migration calling it the single biggest loss of life in the Channel since they started taking records. And just a few minutes ago, President Emmanuel Macron of France was saying that more cooperation needs to be done between the UK, France, and also the Netherlands and Belgium. These countries are very close to the coast with a lot of migrants on their land as well. Now, if we look at the numbers, Heather, just this year, as you say, record numbers of migrants trying to cross. So the attempts are around 47,000, those successfully reaching the UK around 25,000, and those who've been rescued at sea almost 8,000. These are large increases from last year. So what's happening today, the Home Secretary of the UK going to speak to her counterpart in France, Priti Patel, to discuss ways to work together. Take a listen to the Minister for Immigration.
The Home Secretary will be speaking to her counterpart later this morning. And again, we're prepared to offer support on the ground. We're prepared to offer resources. We're prepared to offer literally people to go there and help and assist the French authorities. We're clear we don't just see this as an issue that France needs to deal with, but one that we want to work together with France and our wider European partners.
Well, that is a British offer, but Heather, the French might not necessarily be willing to take that offer because today we heard from the MP of Calais who said, well, look, if you reverse the situation and had French soldiers patrolling the British shores, there would be an outcry coming from the British side. So it's not yet clear what kind of cooperation is needed. And talking about human smuggling, Heather, just to tell you how big of a problem it is, Emmanuel Macron said more than 1,500 people have been arrested in northern France, 44 smuggling rings dismantled. And despite that, we are seeing record numbers of people really trying to cross that channel. Heather?
And I was struck, speaking about what Macron has said today, his comment that France will not let the channel become a cemetery. Is there any indication, Tessa, that the tragedy will indeed stop people from trying to cross?
Unfortunately not in this sense. And yes, those are powerful words from Emmanuel Macron just this morning, Heather. There were two boats that arrived in Dover here in southern England, and there were about 40 people getting off that. The weather condition, it's worsening, and still people are trying to cross. Some activists and NGO workers are saying the reason is that a lot of them trying to cross have family members in the UK or only speak English. This they see as the only place in Europe where they can really have a future. Take a listen to what the British Red Cross had to say.
We need to create safe and legal routes for people to get here through planned resettlement programs and family reunion. And we also need to have a safe and fair asylum system here so that people, when they've made their journeys, can claim asylum and be fairly assessed.
A short answer to your question again, Heather, is that migrant crossings are not stopping. We're keeping a close eye as we do expect to see a lot more of that happening in the next few days. Heather?
Tessa, thank you very much. Tessa Arcilia is in London.